Hey there, it's CJ Willie and I'm back with another Magic the Gathering opening experience. On my channel I've been cracking open Born of the Gods intro packs. So far I opened up the white intro pack and the blue intro pack. If you haven't been able to check out those videos, I've added them in the description below. So go and check them out. Today I'm going to be cracking open the black intro pack. So I'm going to go ahead, clean this up, and come back with the black intro deck. So the black intro deck is going to be a black-green intro deck. Death's Beginning. Flip it around in the back. It says, Awaken the Myth. A pantheon of all-powerful gods rules over the plane of Theros. Krakens, Minotaurs, and other monsters of myth threaten the safety of the walled cities. Heroes rise to battle bolstered by their devotion to the gods. Venture to Theros and find your own path to become a hero. And then with a Death's Beginning intro pack, even in death, your creatures serve you. They control life and death on the battlefield, and as your graveyard fills with creatures, your dark power swells. Alright, we'll see how much my dark power swells. Crack this open. See if I can get it out of the packaging. Alright, it's going to have the deck, the two booster packs, and I'll be opening these two booster packs on other videos on my channel, so I'll set them off to the side. As I went through in the first intro deck opening, there are two pamphlets. The first one is a basic beginner's guide for new players learning how to play Magic the Gathering, and then the other one is specific to Born of the Gods, covers information about each of the decks, and then gives a little bit of detail on how you can enhance those decks. I won't be going over those. If you want to check out what the contents are, go to the first video, the white intro deck. Alright, get into cracking this one. So this one's going to be the black-green. First card in it is Eater of Hope, 7 mana. Yikes. 5 and 2 black, 6/4 demon. It's a flyer. It has pay a black, sacrifice another creature, regenerate Eater of Hope. That's not bad. 2 and a black, sacrifice 2 other creatures, destroy target creature. If I can get to the late game, which it seems this is what this deck wants to do, have a good way of keeping the demon on the battlefield and also popping off some of my opponent's creatures. So the first rare in the intro deck is a foil, and there'll be one other rare that won't be foil. Okay. Next is Fellhide Brawler, so 2 mana, 2/2. Can't block unless I have another Minotaur. I'm not sure how this deck is going to pan out. I don't think it's going to be very aggressive, but if I've got to last till the late game, I better have some other Minotaurs so this guy can block. If not, he's going in for the attacks. So it looks like I have a couple of those, and that's out of Born of the Gods. Satyr Wayfinder. Now this makes sense because part of it is graveyard theme. So the Satyr Wayfinder at 2 mana, 1/1 Satyr, it is a great enabler of getting cards into my graveyard. So hopefully 2 of those. Yeah, there's 2 of those. And that came from Born of the Gods. Fellhide Minotaur. Well, there's my other Minotaur, but it's not one that I'm excited about. 3 mana, 2/3 with no other abilities. Let me guess, there's probably... Oh good, there's only one. That came out of Theros. Another card from Theros, an uncommon. 3 mana, 2/1 Satyr Rogue. Satyr Piper. So if I pay 3 and a green, target creature must be blocked this turn if able. So hopefully I've got some Death Touch creatures in here to take out some of my opponent's creatures. The second rare is from Theros. It's Night Howler. 3 mana, 1 and 2 black, 0/0 enchantment creature horror. It's got the bestow mechanic. So for 4 mana, 2 and 2 black, I can use it to enchant a creature. Night Howler and enchanted creature each get +X/+X, where X is the number of creature cards in all graveyards. That's not bad. It'll look at my graveyard for my creatures and also all the ones I'm hoping that I'm killing from my opponent. So that's the second rare out of the intro pack. So I'll set that kind of off to the side here. Maybe I'll set it right up there. Forsaken Drifters is from Born of the Gods, 4 mana, 4/2 zombie. When Forsaken Drifters dies, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. So a way to get some more cards into my graveyard. Got a couple of those. Return Centaur is from Theros. It's 3 mana, 2/4. When it enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So I'm seeing the theme of just dumping my creatures into my graveyard. Hopefully there'll be some sort of recursion where I can grab one of my more powerful creatures that went in my graveyard and get it onto the battlefield. Grave Robber Spider from Born of the Gods, 4 mana, 2/4, it has reach. For 3 and a black, it gets +X/+X until I turn, where X is the number of creature cards in my graveyard, and I can only activate that ability once each turn. So it looks like I have a couple of that uncommon. Fairies Band Centaurs, 5 mana, 3/7, no other abilities. Probably a card I want to get stuck into the graveyard. It's from Theros. Oops, went a little too fast there. Keepsake Gorgon, 5 mana, 2/5 from Theros, has Death Touch, so there's my Death Toucher. It's got the Monstrosity ability, 7 mana, 5 and 2 black. I can put a +1/+1 counter on Keepsake Gorgon. I can only do that one time to make it monstrous, and then when it becomes monstrous, I can destroy target non-Gorgon creature an opponent controls. So I've got to get this deck to the later stages of the game to take advantage of the graveyard synergy and some of these more expensive abilities. Another creature from Theros, Pharika's Mender, 5 mana, 3 and 1 black, 1 green. It's a 4/3. When Pharika's Mender enters the battlefield, I can return target creature or enchantment card from my graveyard to my hand. So there's the recursion. It's back to the hand, which isn't great. I wish it was back to the battlefield. Loathsome Catalebus, 6 mana, 5 and a black, 3/3. I can pay 2 and a green. It must be blocked this turn if able, and when it dies, a target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-3 until end of turn. A lot of Theros cards in here. Archetype of Finality, 6 mana, 2/3 Gorgon. Creatures I control have Death Touch, so there's the Death Touch part of it. Creatures my opponents control lose Death Touch and can't have or gain Death Touch. Expensive 6 mana, 2/3, but it really makes my creatures into a threat. Another uncommon from Theros, Nemesis Immortals, 6 mana, 5/5. Nemesis Immortals costs 1 less to cast for each creature card in my graveyard, so it could come out pretty cheap thanks to Satyr Wayfinder and some of the early mill. For 9 mana, Monstrosity 5, this ability costs 1 less to activate for each creature card in my graveyard. A lot cheaper of a cost, but all that I really get out of it is +5/+5, making this a 10/10. Without evasion, it can just be chump blocked, so there's a couple of those uncommons. And then how many lands are going to be in this? It's going to be 26. That's what the first 2 intro decks that I opened had, was 26 lands. So I'll count it real quick. So 15 Swamp and 11 Forest. So pretty true, 26 lands. That's definitely something, as I improve the deck, I would drop the number of lands and slim out the mana curve. Commune with Gods, 2 mana sorcery, reveal the top 5 cards in my library. I can put a creature or enchantment card from among them into my hand, and the rest into the graveyard. So I've got a couple of really cheap get creatures into the graveyard, turn on the abilities of my later game creatures. So it looks like I'll have a couple of those. That's from Theros. From Born of the Gods, Mortals Resolve, 2 mana instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Not bad. A couple of those. Unravel the Aether, 2 mana instant. Choose target artifact or enchantment as owner shuffles it into his or her library. I like that. Can get rid of a pesky artifact or enchantment, or maybe save one of mine if my opponent targets it. Asphyxiate, 3 mana, 1 and 2 black. Sorcery, destroy target untapped creature. I don't know that I like this. Murder would be an easy upgrade for this set, and there's tons of other 2 mana destroy creature spells out there. So a couple of those. Born of the Gods. Cutthroat Maneuver, 4 mana instant. Up to 2 target creatures each get +1/+1 and gain lifelink until end of turn. So a card that's going to help me gain some life and keep me until the later stages of the game. That's from Theros. Another one from Theros is March of the Returned. 4 mana sorcery, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. This one I don't mind. Good way to get some of my more important creatures that I milled or put into my graveyard back into my hand. From Born of the Gods, Weight of the Underworld, enchantment aura, enchant creature, enchanted creature gets -3, -2. Pretty expensive enchantment. I don't know that I'd be too excited to play 2 copies of this. Definitely upgradable. From Theros, Rescue from the Underworld, 5 mana instant. As an additional cost to cast Rescue from the Underworld, I sacrifice a creature, and then I can choose target creature in my graveyard, and I can return that card and the sacrifice card to the battlefield under my control at the beginning of my next upkeep. A little bit of a delayed trigger. Hopefully I can live through my opponent's turn, but on my upkeep, I'm going to get 2 creatures back on directly onto the battlefield with enter the battlefield abilities. I do like Rescue from the Underworld. It was a pretty good card in the Theros standard environment. And then the final card in the intro deck is Raised by Wolves. 5 mana, 3/2 green enchant creature. When Raised by Wolves enters the battlefield, I can put 2/2 green wolf creature tokens onto the battlefield, and then the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each wolf I control. So not bad, but pretty gimmicky and needs to be played in the right spot. Okay, that was the intro deck Death's Beginning from Born of the Gods, the black-green deck, featuring Eater of Hope and Night Howler. It's a graveyard themed deck for sure. Quick way to get creature cards in your graveyard and the ability to bring them back onto the battlefield. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell me in the comment section what you think about this intro deck. Until next time, when I'm back with another Magic the Gathering opening experience.